Hey y'all, I appreciate you wanting to take time out of your day to hang out with me um, as I get ready. But it feels strange to be doing something like making a YouTube video in the comfort and privacy of my very safe home with everything that I need in here. While so many people around the world are suffering, and not just by, happenstance, but in a very deliberate, calculated way. And so I'm going to post a couple different resources that I encourage you to look at. And in fact, I would say if you want to kiki and watch me put on makeup and do my hair and stuff, read that stuff first, right? Because while I might not be talking about these different atrocities in this video, and in part because of the powers that be, and because if I talk about it, I don't know if the video will be able to stay up, blah, blah, blah. But to know me is to know that I care about these things very deeply, and for whatever I talk about, in my personal life, I am equally, if not more so, concerned with the broader picture for those around the world. And so read those things. It's gonna be, a little cute video. We're gonna get fake deep. I cut my hair again. Been doing it a little bit differently, but I think it's coming out great. Blah, blah, blah. And so, there's actual real shit going on in the world that's not what I look like. Check that stuff out first. Let's get into it. Morning, friends. When I say I just woke up, I'm not exaggerating, and you could probably tell. But before we get too deep into everything, I just wanted to show y'all my kind of updated braid out. Had a pretty popular video about how I do my easy braid out, 5 braids, etc. I've changed it. I've been doing the same style for a couple months now, and I don't know if the fact that everything is falling is some kind of sign of something, or if I'm thinking too hard. Okay, let me do this quickly. I've been doing this braid out for a couple months now. I've had better success with using stronger holding products, and also doing fewer sections. Real quick, I use a generous amount of the Melanin Twist Elongating Style Cream, and then I also go in with the Pattern Curl Mousse. The bottom of my head, I have 1, 2. The middle section, so that I don't get that weird line straight down the back of my head, now I have 2 braids in that section, so that puts us at 4. And then the top 2 sides sections, I have 2 braids in each now, so it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now there's 2 braids in each section. Hope that makes sense to y'all. The reason for that, like I said, is that my hair is pretty, super frizzy, but it's prone to frizz. And so having the smaller sections helps to keep the curls kind of defined. And the reason for me for those 2 products is that they offer the perfect balance of moisture, almost to the point of my hair reverting, while also having hold. Actually, the reason why, and let me scooch over so you can see. So this is that first section taken out. And it almost gives off the effect of a natural curl pattern. I use a pretty generous dollop of the melanin on each section, of the cream on each section, because it almost like makes my hair revert, which I feel like I showed in that original video. And then the melanin, not the melanin, and then the pattern mousse comes in with the hold that I like. So I just kind of, you know, like everyone suggests, take it apart where it naturally wants to come apart. And the reason why I'm doing this so early, as opposed to when I get dressed in a couple of hours, is because one of the cons that I've found with this product combination is that it is rather heavy, and I don't like my hair to look like I just took the braids out. I want it to appear almost natural, right? The way that the curls are formed. So I take it out and then I put it back up into a little ponytail, you know, let my hair cook, let it chill out. And even though there's no gel, there is a little bit of a cast. And so I want that to loosen up before I have to go out into the world. So, something else that I've found is that I was getting kind of weird results from washing my hair and then immediately braiding it up. And usually because I was trying to take the braids out while like during the day. So let's say I washed my hair at 10 a.m., blow dry it by 11, put the braids in, and then I would try to, you know, take them out and go out at like 3 or 4. That wasn't working. So what I do now, and I will say that this is kind of like in theory, a wash and go for styling time takes a little bit longer, but then my hair is done. What I do now is I blow my hair out, and then I'll put it in a stretched state. So usually I'll put it in like a halo braid with flat, well, put it like in a crown style with flat twists. Because when I do that, I don't need to use products in my hair. It's able to just kind of like look neat, be nice and dry, stay stretched, etc., etc. And then at night, I'll go in with the products. So, all right, so we are on the last section. I always find it strange when people make YouTube videos and they're like very obviously doing something by themselves and they say like, all right guys, we're going to whatever. I'm on the last braid. And something that I have to remember is that the braids, y'all know I like to be like very neat when doing my hair, and something that I have to remember is the braids literally are there to put the style into my hair. Nobody sees them. They do not have to be perfect. Because this front section was giving me hell yesterday. All right, so we, and by we, I mean myself and you, the viewer, are seeing my haircut together. I watched a video by Deeper Than Hair on how to trim your hair yourself. Y'all probably know I, for years, would cut my hair myself curly. But because I've been wearing my hair, it technically it's blow dried, even though it still looks curly, but it's not in its natural curl pattern. I've been cutting my hair when it's blow dried. That was my last video. It's a learning curve though, because in my head I'm like, oh, I'm good at cutting hair, period. Yes, and I am good at cutting my hair, but cutting it straight and cutting it curly are quite also been cutting it straight because I'm trying to grow out the bleach damage, and so I want to be more precise with the haircut than I would be if my hair was in a wash and go state. So you and I are seeing the haircut together. I love it. I think that it looks more uniform anyways, because I'll be honest, that first time that I trimmed it straight, it didn't look good. Now, because my hair is shorter, instead of doing the pineapple at the top, because the back was the longest part, so it was able to stretch, instead of doing that pineapple at the top, now what I do is just like a ponytail, not quite at my crown, somewhere between a low ponytail that would be down here and the crown of my head. And again, it doesn't have to look like anything because nobody's going to see it. And I don't know if I'm gonna go back to sleep, but I'm at least gonna lay down. So then, instead of doing the pineapple where the base of the triangle is in the back of my head, I'm gonna do it where it's in the front of my head. With this product combination, and like I said, wearing the braids overnight, I don't have to re-braid my hair like I was doing. I used to alternate between re-braiding it and wearing it in the pineapple. I'm able to get like 4 or 5 days of wearing my hair out. Probably could stretch it for longer, but after a while, I just want to have my hair up from wearing it down that many days in a row. But I'm able to wear my hair out for days in a row. And I sleep with it like this. When I take a shower, I just, same ponytail, I just put it in the shower cap with the ponytail position the same way. And then something that I'm gonna have to figure out is I'm going to the gym now. Before I was just doing yoga, and so my hair wasn't really a factor because I wasn't like working up a sweat. If I was going to heated yoga, it was like at the end of the week and I would just wash my hair after. But I've been going to the gym and I gotta figure that out. I might end up washing my hair more often and maybe having to go back to wash and goes. So I'll see y'all, for you in a couple of seconds, for me in a couple of hours once I'm legit eating ready for the day. All right, and we're back. I just took a shower, I am dressed. My top is see-through, but I'm wearing a cardigan, don't clock me. I feel like I probably have, but I feel like I've never shown my sleeve on my channel. But I have a full sleeve. The reason for this get ready for me, the reason for this get ready with me is that I am going out with my mom and my sister for little mommy-daughter day. And so, getting lunch, getting our nails done, and that's why I wanted to be like, you know, nice and prim and cute. So, I'm thinking that for makeup today, I'm going to, I'm gonna try to do like more pinks than usual. Usually I stick to warm. You know, pink is not warm. I try to stick to like browns, oranges, gold, but we're gonna try pink. I've been trying to figure out how to articulate this for months now, but my Saturn's return started, if you're into astrology. And essentially a Saturn's return, as it implies, it's when Saturn is back to where it was when you were born. Happens for most people, I think between 27 and 30. And even if you're not into astrology, I feel like for most people, like your frontal lobe finishes developing at 25. And so in the years that follow, it requires a certain level of like accounting or something, like taking stock basically of where you are in life, right? You know, at least in the US, I don't know if this is true for other countries. I feel like other countries don't have the same rigidity around being 18. But in the US, it's like, yo, you're an adult at 18 and you fumble through your early 20s because literally your brain is not done developing. You know, for most people, school finishes around like 18, 19, 20. If you go to college, maybe a little later. In my case, I graduated from college at 22. And so by the time you get to like 30-ish, you are in a position to consider your life, your choices, etc. And so a Saturn's return is basically when everything that was kind of hidden comes out and is revealed to you. It's notoriously very difficult. Real quick before I put this away, I just washed all my makeup brushes and I washed my makeup sponge and I said, man, that was a bad experience. So I'm trying to stick to using a brush and seeing if I'm okay with that. This is just an e.l.f. concealer brush. And I mean, I gotta put my glasses on, but I think this came out great. But normally I put on the concealer and then use a damp sponge, but I feel like a warm fingertip and a damp sponge. I mean, I'm not a makeup artist, but I feel like they probably do similar things. So anyways, do I want to wear cream blush or powder blush or both? No, I don't even know why I said that. So, if you're into astrology, I turned 29 in February. My Saturn's return was at the end of March. If you are not into astrology, I turned 29 in February. And life has been chock full of transitions in the past year or so. And one thing about me, I hate transitions. I feel like, and I've talked about this, I spent my early 20s on a perpetual quest for stability. I can now say with confidence and clarity that the stability that I sought out was a lot of it too external, right? I thought that stability came from a partner. I thought that stability came from a weird relationship to independence. And so, as I've said a million times before, I basically started over at 25 and have since kind of kept the things that I needed to from that period, but also ditched the things that didn't. And that's been interesting. That's been really interesting because, like, for example, as I mentioned, hyper independent, right? From like a money perspective, you know, I try to never ask for help, even when there are people more than willing to support. support me in some capacity. You know, I've gotten to the point where I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, I've kept a roof above my head for 3 years now. I've been in this apartment already, believe it or not. I've been in this apartment for 3 years. Is this ugly? Kind of. One of the things that I've learned in my Saturn's return is that I think, yes, I lean on the warm side, but I think my skin might be teetering towards olive. Bro, when I tell you everything in life, I have had to reconsider even the things that are positive, right? Like my apartment. I had considered moving for a moment, just because things that I had going on at the time, it seemed like that made sense. Stuff didn't pan out, so I'm not going to. But it made me like think, oh, I don't want to move, you know? So this is not good. A lot of rethinking stuff, what's going well, what's not. I don't talk about this like a ton, I feel like, but I go to therapy. I've had the same therapist for approaching 3 years now. And if nothing else, if you have the means to, I recommend therapy as a place to talk through with somebody who is totally unattached to your life. Talk through your decisions and just kind of have that space that is just for you. And so the conversation in therapy is like, I'm stable in a new way now. But I have to really, you know, just do some heavy lifting about myself, my circumstances, my relationships, I should say. And I really have to look out on the next like 10 years, right? Because so much of your 20s is like, 25 is the last milestone, and then you're 30, and then what? And we act like life stops. But now that I'm 29, I'm thinking about what are the things that I've done a great job of in my 20s that I can celebrate and that I'm proud of myself for. The things that I have had to learn, the lessons that I've had to learn, how do I continue to implement them? And then what new goals do I have? Because just to be straight up, as somebody that's like was a very high achieving student, it's been hard to learn how to have real world goals because you don't get an A+ on doing your job. The reward for doing a good job for the work that you're paid for is you get more work to do. So there is no medal for being consistent in therapy. If there was, I would win it. Something that's really cool about the age that I am is that for more or less, I have the means to do some of the things that I want. And by means, I mean like not even just money, but the way that my life is set up right now. Like nobody's asking me for anything. And before that changes, let's see how this marinated. Okay. Now we have to pick. I think I overstretched some parts. It's giving Jerry curl, which are back. But nobody's like asking me for anything. You know, if I decided I'm gonna take 2 weeks off of work and go on a vacation through Europe. Let me clarify first, I don't have the money to do that. But let's say that I did, I'd have to find care for my dog. But like, who's gonna stop me? And I'm in a beautiful phase in life where I only have to think of myself. And boy, are those nights long when I do have to think of myself. Something that I've learned in my late 20s that I didn't know in my early 20s and in my teen years is that there's something that's a lot more important than your own happiness. Believe it or not, you don't live to make yourself happy, you live to make your life peaceful. There's a poem prayer that I'll post in the description box by, I want to say Rich Orloff, I think is the author's name. But the prayer is for a peace that is greater than happiness. And considering how much emphasis in life is placed on our own, in America, is placed on our own individuality and our own, our individuality, our own happiness, etc., etc., quite frankly, in a selfish way, to think, wait, what if life is about making choices that will make me peaceful, not momentarily happy? What? So, what I've found, not a huge fan, still learning this very much so, but what I've found is that when I do make choices that will make my life more peaceful in the long run, as opposed to momentarily happy, I am better for it. And sometimes the things in life that I've thought were bringing me the most joy there's a bug right above my head. Sometimes the things in life that I thought were bringing upon the most joy upon further inspection not only were soul-sucking, but also were moving me further away from having a peaceful life. And that sucks. But what can you do? Here's a little update on my highlights, my hair color. We're up close and personal. Yeah, not bad. They're still in there. I don't love the color. To be honest with you, I don't love the color, and I'll probably go darker when this fades some. Let me put a necklace on. I think the biggest takeaway, I guess, that I want folks to have is to know that I am very much in process. Always will be, always have been, always will be. But I'm very much in process, and seeing that being in process is not a bad thing at all. In fact, you know how people say the lesson is in the journey, not the destination? I got to a point where I felt like I reached the destination and didn't know. Let me concentrate. And didn't know what was next for me, right? Didn't know what else to expect, what else to pursue. I used to get so frustrated with doing things that required a little bit of nimbleness, I think is the word. Okay. There we go. Yeah, a little bit of patience. Yeah, and it's laying right. I used to wear these two necklaces every day for a while. Simple, cute, really cute. I'm excited for my hair to grow over the next couple of days. Not grow, you know what I mean, like swell up. I'm just gonna take this one piece that's stretched out and curl it, twirl it, curl it around my finger. Try to make it shrink up. There we go. Awesome. Right, y'all. So it was fun being fake deep. I didn't actually, if you paid close attention, I didn't actually say anything just now. This is me. This has been my life that we're discussing. You know, whatever, no small thing. And if anything that I said resonated, I implore you to read the poem that I'm gonna post in my bio, not my bio, in the description box, because it is something that I sit with and meditate often. And I want to emphasize that when I say the word peace, it doesn't mean like oh, there's no struggle, whatever. There's another line in there that says, please grant me a peace that's deeper than my sorrow. You know, things are gonna happen, right? Life is hard. It is always a weird time to be alive. And so, no one said it would be easy. But if you are at peace, you'll feel a greater sense of purpose when things are difficult, to know like, okay, this is temporary, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. If y'all want to share the part of your journey that you're on, or anything else that you feel comfortable putting in the comments, please do. And I'll see you in my next video.